Hello, and welcome to We Hate Skill Windows. This is a podcast where we go and talk about skill windows and hating them, and usually probably not reviewing things that have skill windows in them. Today we are reviewing. I suppose we should probably introduce ourselves, but you probably have seen us before. Hi, I'm Rye,
I'm Chris.
and now we get into it. Heavenly Grand Archives Young Master. Synopsis wise, let's see. Main character is not the Grand Archives Young Master, but he becomes the Grand Archives Young Master. Yep. Uh,
Yeah,
I don't
Chris.
want to say too much about it. He's not the Young Master, but don't you worry, he definitely is the Young Master.
I feel like anything within the first 10 chapters is safe to say.
Hold on. Let me get back to it. Uh, I honestly sort of forgot what this one was entirely about.
He
Um,
used to be like the
oh
Merm Alliance
yeah,
leader of
he used to
Hugongs.
be the he. Ooh, I I know YouTube's got a thing where they don't want us to talk about uh often oneself and stuff. I think it'll be flagged if we do. So how do I? He's a he used to be the Murim Alliance's leader. He's like really important. He's got really cool skills. He is also very overweight. That's fine. Nothing to you if you're overweight, but the series does talk about it a whole bunch, and everyone calls him like pig and stuff. I don't know. Man likes to eat. I can't deny that. There's a lot of food shown, and it all looks real good. So I don't. Uh, I'm not saying eating is wrong. In fact, I should probably eat more, but that's a different thing. But he it's not really explained, but he wakes up in the body of this kid who's about to die. And turns out the kid's body was like on the it wasn't a soul transfer swap thing like it usually is though, right? Like I feel like usually in these stories, the plot is, the the person who is the main character dies and then their soul transmutes or reincarnates basically into a body that's good for being the vessel. But in this case, two living people swapped souls in the same timeline. There was no shift of time passing, right? Like, there 30 years didn't go by and then his soul woke up and in a different new body and all that. And in fact, while he is the young master, he hears about the news of his own passing. Um and yeah, the alliance leader basically just stopped himself. Um and we have a little excerpt from the I cannot pronounce this name correctly, surely. Biamahang? Biamahang? Is this a Dan Hung situation?
I think it's Bohm.
Bohm Hong? Hang? Hong?
I'm
Bo-
assuming Hung.
Bohm? So Bohm here, we have a little panel where he wakes up in the body of the Alliance leader, and he's like, "Ah, yes, no one's here to stop me now." And then he grabs a sword, and that's basically all we see. But yeah, the Bohm who used to be Hugong, just sort of decides to live more. and in doing so, greatly confuses the heck out of everyone else around him because he wasn't very into living, I guess. And
Extreme depression.
I don't know. It's implied that he fell into like curated madness, right?
What do
Like,
you
yeah,
mean
he
by
he was
that?
depressed, but like it's also implied that people took advantage of this and made him more depressed. Like he wasn't like this before, and obviously
I
the shock was huge. But there were also parties in his family that were like, "Yeah, let's have him off himself. It'll be better for us."
I think they meant to say that they had to deal with like the stress of him
No, well, like,
being like that.
wasn't there this whole like little arc about
Oh,
the
the
like
escort
envoy
master.
or yeah, the escort master being like, "Oh, you wanted to die, right? So here's a knife. We'll help you out." Like, didn't they wanted him to be dead for some reason?
I think it was like one of the other pavilions, the He-Man pavilion, was trying to take advantage of the situation.
I
So they
probably
hired those people.
it was it. Hmm. Weird things are weird. You ever wonder how the people that serve under a family are so like quick to betray their family? Like, they're just like, "Oh
No?
yeah, you pay more. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll switch sides." Like I thought loyalty was a huge thing in the Jonghu and all that, or in the Mirim.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think a lot of people just thought that the guy wanted to die, so they're like, "It's a win-win."
well, yeah, but yeah, some things in this thing didn't make any sense. Like the fact that he's got that one friend who's like, "Oh yeah, he wants to die. I'll throw my entire fortune down the drain so he can die, and then I'll die too."
Yeah.
That's sort of insane. Isn't that not insane? Have you guys
Yeah.
not been checked into mental asylums? Oh, that's right. Mental asylums don't work yet. They don't exist in this world. Ah, darn. Also, the fact that his servant, the shadow girl, is like really good at martial arts, but doesn't get to use them often is weird. She sort of becomes comedic relief, and it's a
Yeah.
little weird. Uh, but yeah, other than that, it's your typical, oh, I guess I'm in this body now, and then everyone around me is like, oh, the young master has regained his vitality. This is a great thing. Let's hope he never becomes like what he was before. Even though he does tell people at the beginning, like, I'm not your son or I'm not your grandson, I'm like someone else. Just no one believes him.
Yeah.
But that's weird too, right? Because there are techniques that people should know of being in the Mirim that would allow soul transfer, you would think.
Assuming it's just not common.
Yeah, but not common doesn't mean it couldn't happen. Why is everyone so like incredulous when it happens?
Uh, Maybe it's
Like
super,
they act
super
like he's
uncommon.
joking and like, oh yeah, you're just haha, you're so funny. But they should know there are things that I don't know. I'm not questioning it too hard. I just know that it's just a sort of weird thing to
Yeah.
take note of. It's not bad. This one's got good art. I will say that.
Oh, that's
Um, it's pretty wholesome in parts as well. I don't know if you felt the same.
yeah.
Like when he was showing around the one girl or like taking her tour, and she was like, "Oh, what, like who did you go with last time that you said you couldn't?" And it was like, "Oh yeah, it was a girl, but she won't remember me." And there's like they do more than a one panel flashback too, and it's like his memories as his previous life essentially. getting led around by the girl who's now grown up, and it's just very like endearing. I don't know. I like this one. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, really. Did you? Why don't you take the stage? I feel like you usually have the complaints about these ones. Usually, when I like something, you've got something. Our
I think
tastes
it's
don't
more like
line up.
I think it's more like I never have high expectations,
God.
and it just carries through out continually. But
But,
let's see.
however, there's hope.
I didn't hate this one necessarily, but I wasn't
Og.
particularly interested in it, I guess.
Now, why was that?
Um, I feel like this one kind of meanders a lot with its plot. Like this one definitely,
Leans on the comedy.
yeah, it leans in the comedy. It it just includes a lot of s- information that I feel is unnecessary.
What are you gonna talk about the whole like explaining techniques thing again, or
Um,
because they do sort of do that?
they
Also,
do
I don't know why
that.
the main character decided now that I'm in this new body, I'm just gonna like utilize the same martial arts I had before. Isn't that sort of weird? Well, I
Is
guess that
that
makes
normal?
sense. Like usually when you do this, the whole thing, you like sort of learn what the clan's techniques are. He, I guess he sort of does them, but like he also does the stuff that he used to be famous for, like before.
Uh,
No, also that's crazy that he can basically idle. What was it? Idle transmogrification or whatever.
Something like that. Pressure point shift.
Yeah, but what's the thing of JJK?
Oh, oh yeah.
Yeah, idle transfiguration. That's what he's
Yeah,
doing.
yeah,
Yeah, he's literally like
yeah,
reshaping their body with like pressure points.
yeah.
It's actually sort of insane. And he's a good guy,
Turns them
probably.
into goop.
He literally turns them into like a mass, like a,
Yep.
and they're still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it, yeah. It feels like I'm gonna drop a name. I don't expect you to know this one. Pretty sure you haven't read it, given your preference for maybe not this stuff. You probably wouldn't have read this. It feels like Nanomachine.
Is that the Webtoons one?
I think it is on Webtoons. But it does feel like Nano Machine a little bit, except like without what Nano Machine is actually about, but just sort of slow paced. Got a lot of good fight scenes, really. Uh, and recent, the insect army was pretty cool.
Um,
It's got like interesting little things that you think and you go, oh, that's pretty neat. I don't know. Is there anything else you just? Yeah, I know you said it's like sort of slow when the plot meanders.
I wouldn't say it's slow. It just doesn't have what I would think of as like a fulfilling plot.
Hmm.
I don't know. He kind of just like goes around and
Well,
he
he
beats
does try
stuff
to
up.
collect like the three great evils, right?
I he just kind of does that, and then I don't know. He's just kind of like out here stumbling on them. First one he literally stumbles upon,
Yeah, that he does.
yeah, and then he just kind of like.
Hey, bye. I
Goes up,
mean,
beats up people,
he got invited to a conference,
not invited to a
and then he
conference,
goes.
so eh, interestingly, him being invited to the conference was supposed to be, like, the clans are supposed to, I don't know,
It was supposed to be a trap, right?
embarrassing him
Yeah,
or
like
something.
he
Yeah, like,
wasn't
they were like
supposed to go there in good faith. And then he
but it
played like
seemed like
4D chess, and then yep.
it's like no one acted the way that they said they would
Well,
towards him.
they sort of did. He declined the invitation, and I sent a guy after him. The guy was like, "Listen, man, you don't want to mess with me. I'm real tough." And the emissary was like, yeah, about that." And then he literally buried the man alive. And then the
And
guy
that
got a lot more
yeah,
uh
nice,
servant
polite.
like. Yeah.
But they were like they said that once he got there, all the other people were trying to embarrass him because he looks down on the 10 clans, but no one really did that.
I think they did plan to do that with the whole competition, but he found them too fast, and he also like sort of diverted it by giving information that implied that there was something else going on. So the guys in charge, the Namgon clan or whatever, was like, "Oh, we should probably not do that." I think it also helped that he went to the medicinal palace place and actually like became friends-ish with the other guy.
Yeah, yeah.
If that didn't happen, I think they probably would have. But I mean, you know what would have happened, right? They would have tried to like humiliate him. He would have like beat the crap out of him, and nothing would have changed. It would have just been like a showcase for the MC to just be like, "Hey, I'm really OP, aren't I?" We get to see some nice, satisfying scenes of his rivals getting beaten up or killed.
Yeah.
And do you expect it to not happen?
Hmm. I feel like I'm not too intrigued by stories where it's kind of just like, oh, they beat each other up, and the MC kind of just comes in and starts walloping them, and then it's all over.
Damn, you're not as simple as me, where I just go, "Oh, fight scene, nice. No academy arc, lovely." I just
It
don't like
just,
academy.
oh, oh,
I don't know. He it was weird, weird thing for him to just pick up two brothers along the way, and they like really didn't like him, and they just become his brothers again. That was a little
yeah.
weird. But I don't know. I didn't hate this one. I am understanding that got different uh prereqs before I'm satisfied compared to Chris though.
Mm,
Yeah, wanna rate it?
yeah.
Right. Art score, what'd you think?
Oh my god. I give it a 9.
9. I will give it a 9. It's not the solo leveling, but man is it good.
Oh, crisp.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
true. Maybe the scans didn't mess it up. How many of this is just bad scan quality? The story. I can try to go first. I never really know. I feel like my gauge of story is just, did it make sense? Yeah. And was it not horrible? Yeah. That's basically my criteria. Like, did it not suck? Yeah, it didn't suck. Cool. Uh, what else? Brain had empty. Brain no thoughts. But I mean, I don't know. I quite enjoy it where they just sort of do stuff. Like they don't have a huge goal in mind. I think I hate it more when they have a big goal in mind and then they don't do it, you
Yeah,
know?
that's just infuriating.
Like he didn't really have a goal. He just was like, well, guess I gotta get this body to, do martial arts again. And that's like the big part. And then he gets invited to conference. And he's like, well, fuck. I guess. Like he just sort of goes for it, but he doesn't have like a I must get back to the imperial ivory throne to kill my master's killer or something. Like he doesn't have like a huge big main quest. And then 30 chapters later, he's just sitting in a town doing jack shit because they forgot about it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like those I'm more annoyed by because it's like you clearly had something you were supposed to be doing, and now we're spending like 30 chapters on exposition just so you can acquire like a new Pokemon. Like, I don't know. Those ones make me a bit more annoyed, especially if they spend like 60 chapters getting to the point where they can finally get started on their goal. It's just yeah, but this one doesn't do it. Yeah, I don't know. The plot does feel sort of slowish to me, but I don't hate a slow plot. I only hate it when it's slow and nothing happens. So for example, what was it called? Like Heavenly Sword or something? The one where the kid's like a mountain bandit.
Oh, yeah, yeah, something,
Something
yeah.
heavenly, something other. That one, uh, that one sucked
Oof.
because there was no plot progression and it was slow. And all fights were just like two-panel fights where the main character beat the crap out of anyone that he beat the hell out of a elder that came to the sect. Elder in Burim stories, the elders are like the strongest people in the world. He beat an elder and convinced the elder. He literally, not Schrodinger's. What's the word? Stockholmed the elder into like living as a bandit for a while.
Mhm.
That's that's some uh that's some messed up power scalings, I would say. This guy, he is strong. We'll say it. He's strong. He's also like very strong. But he does have hey, he's got the knowledge of the alliance leader in his brain. Can we fault him? He's got a lot of knowledge from being the strongest person in the Mirim alliance, basically. And he also acquired a really OP sword, which
Yeah.
that seemed a little ham-fisted or whatever the wording would be. Like the guy was like, "Oh, I'll give you three swords," and I think they were all secretly hoping that he wouldn't pick this one or something. And he like recognizes the worth of the sword, and the guy's like, honestly, I was gonna give it to who you were before, but he sort of passed away. So I mean, you recognize the value of the sword, I'll give it to you. Turns out it's like the best sword in the world.
Mhm.
And to think the guy declined the gift. And to think he did. Also, sign language? The man
Yeah.
is a proponent of sign language. He learned sign language to help a pupil of his, basically. The man is worldly and he's open-minded. That's crazy. Anyway, I don't know. Story-wise, I feel like it was good. I obviously these reviews are pretty biased though. I'm gonna give it an 8. Feel free to give it a lower score.
Yeah, I think it was just about on par with a lot of the other stories we read, so I'll probably say it's a 5.
Hmm, fair. It is what it is. All right, we get to the characters. What do you think? Any characters you liked? Any flesh lumps that you enjoyed?
I think
Do you like the really weird group that was protecting him?
they're kind of funny.
Yeah, they were kind of funny.
Oh,
This one definitely leaned hard into just weird comedy.
it,
I can't believe the Becker sect was really just used as comedic relief for basically every chapter they've appeared in, really. They're supposed to be like the strongest information gathering guild in a lot of other stories. But you know,
uh, maybe a 6.
6. I'll take a
Yeah.
6. Because I was gonna say, aside from a main character, I don't know if I really care about anyone. There's this whole thing going around about how that one guy with the flute, old man with the flute, is really OP. But
Yeah.
we have yet to see how he is particularly OP. He has
He made a bunch of people cry.
yeah, he has sound arts, which sounds like he's Orochimaru from Naruto, right? Like the sound village and stuff.
Oh.
But it seems like particularly weird because couldn't you just block your ears? Like stuff some con in them or something? And wouldn't you just be immune?
Yes.
I don't know. Some common sense does not appear to be existent in this world sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. Didn't really feel for any of the other characters in particular. The Namgong guy's eldest son did end up joining the group. That's pretty cool. I suppose that's pretty cool. Um, there's some other girl that joined as well, and they're just sort of gathering companions, which is pretty neat. The humor in that escort group feels a little dumb to me. It's not my preferred style of humor. I don't know. It felt
Yeah.
sort of huh, this is gonna be a weird stretch. It felt sort of like JoJo's Part 3. You know?
Never seen Judge's Part 3.
Ah, shoot. Wait, really? Hold
Okay, I've seen
on.
like 2 episodes maybe.
Okay, well, I don't know. Part 3 just had a lot of toilet humor. This one doesn't have toilet humor, but it's got weird immature gags and stuff, you know?
Oh,
I don't know. It just I don't prefer it that way. I swear, when part 3 JoJo Polnareff in part 3 sucked. I hated him so much. He was just always doing some dumb inappropriate thing and uh just I did not like the part 3 characters honestly.
oof.
I didn't even like Iggy. Screw that. Fuck that dog. I did not enjoy. Had no sympathy towards half the characters in that. Just I don't know. I watched it out of obligation and because old Sif or middle-aged Sif was pretty cool. That's really it. And he was the weakest one. I quite liked it before the stands got introduced, but we can't control that, I
No,
guess. And the
no more
stands are
sun
everything.
karate.
Yeah, right? No more I'm gonna power up my fists with the whatever the heck
Hamons.
sunlight something overdrive, sunset overdrive, whatever the heck. I don't know.
Or
I feel like that was cooler. I feel like that was genuinely so much cooler
what
than
about that
I'm just
guy
gonna
just
summon a
always
guy that stands behind me and he's just gonna pummel you with fists and you're gonna yell aura a whole bunch. I
but
get
then he
that.
looks so cherry multiple times. Is that him?
No, that's Kakyoin
Oh,
who yeah, the Raro uh, thing
I
roll
see.
tongue cherry man. Yeah, he exists. He just sort of manifests a green goblin that stands behind him and tosses gemstones at people. I,
Wait, what
and
the heck?
and he can also turn into rope, if I recall correctly. But he's got a humanoid stand, and half the cast have humanoid stands. Not gonna lie. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. JoJo's a weird show. I feel like JoJo's was a whole ruse up until I got to Steel Ball Run, and then all of a sudden I was interested again. And I was only interested because they're racing across like the Wild West of the USA, and they're doing a race to complete the race and win a lot of money, I think. But also because there's a secret race to uncover and grab as many parts of Jesus Christ's body as you can. That's a cool concept, right? They're on horses and stuff, and just there digging up Jesus's eyeballs and stuff and his bones.
Perfect.
And every bone of Jesus gives them like stands and stuff. And basically like the stand arrow in other seasons. But because this is like an alternate universe, it's different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could Dio's a dinosaur?
Yeah, Dio is a dinosaur. Yeah, he definitely is. He's not Dio either, he's like Diego Brando.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Some weird stuff happening in JoJo. Anyway, the characters I didn't particularly hate, but I didn't like them too much. Honestly, I'll give them a 5. Just I don't know what it is, like maybe slapstick humor. It just felt it's not something I terribly enjoy, I guess. I don't know if I enjoy humor in these settings too much. I feel like it just takes away from the seriousness. I don't know. There's a balance. This one does it decently, but it's they lean on it a lot. I guess is all I'm saying.
Mm.
Well, here's the most important question, Chris. Skill windows out of 10.
No skill windows.
Were there not? There really
No.
weren't. Didn't they displayed like skill windows to us, right? Like when people were explaining stuff. I think.
Maybe. I guess I glossed over it in my mind. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Oh hey, it's a whole number this time. Uh, that would be a 7 out of 10.
Ooh, a whole number.
A
Frick.
whole number. It's actually higher than most of the 6.33s we rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually I rate the art score lower, is what I think usually happens. We end up at like a 6.33 because I used to be like 9 and 10s are reserved for the Redice Studios, and then Redice gave us some sort of trashy ones, and I was like, maybe Redice doesn't always do bangers. So
Yeah.
anyway, well, that's it for that. It's your turn.
Alrighty.
You
Let's.
got to pick in mind. Or are you gonna trawl through webtoons
Uh,
or
I, I
Asura this time? What do you want
I
to?
usually troll through a syrup first, and then if I'm like, none of these resonate, I'm like, all right, let's
uh, God, I already see one that's new. The main characters that only I know. Oh, he,
what
does it look like he's just like Asian Harry Potter?
the Asian Harry Potter.
Dude, he's
That's
got like headwig or whatever. Just the
uh,
guy and wearing a suit, holding a floating book, and like an owl. Find anything that catches your eye? There's a whole lot of samey samies we could read. A lot of ones that just feel like we're reading the same thing, but it's slightly different.
yeah. I'm looking. I feel like I've seen this plot so many times. I regress to my ruined family, and it's like
You
he's the
have.
hero.
And I will
Can
tell
save
you, we
every
can read this one. We've read quite a few that are very similar.
uh, shocked. Uh,
We
okay.
can always do something as well. I want to bring up the fact that I think I'm down to. I don't know if you are, I guess, but I feel like I'm down to like re give something a try, give something another try. I don't know. Like some of the
Oh
ones that
no,
we
that's
read way
further
early
along.
on, like My Daughter is the Final Boss. I think we only got to like chapter 30, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now it's like sitting at 100 over, I think. Clearly someone liked it enough. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Sure. We can continue reading My Daughter's the Final
Well,
Boss.
hold on here. Well, hold on. Uh, you actually want to? Let's see how many chapters it's got. Daughter, my
Number
daughter,
14. Hmm,
my daughter. 114. Holy,
that's crazy.
it's ongoing. It hasn't been dropped yet. The heck? You want to give it another go?
Sure.
It's got a 9.7. Surely this means something. Maybe?
Mm,
Hmm.
mm,
Hmm. I mean, we gotta trust this. Uh, Asura,
mm,
right?
mm. Yeah.
Yeah, don't sound very convincing. Righty, my daughter is the final boss. Let's say re-review. Because technically this is the second time. I will say, I think the episode that we did this was what, like the second episode of this show? And it's not on YouTube anymore because it got pulled down after some company, the company that published it, like struck it down because it contained images. That's crazy because there's other things that review these things and they all have images in them. I don't understand why you'd go after a video with like 2 views and a channel with very little subscribers.
Mm,
Like, could you not go after like a big boy? Could you not go after the people that literally just upload your chapters and not talk about them? I don't know. What I understand is Korean companies suck, and they're just scour YouTube and they're like, "Oh, you've used our picture without permission. Fuck you!" And they just strike that shit down, and yeah, and then the strike sits on your channel for a while. They're like, "Hey, if you get 2 more, you're fucked." And you go, "Oh, well, shit. Like, what do I do?" "Oh, well, you just have to wait it out, and you probably should remove the video." "Oh, okay, I guess so." That's where we're at. My daughter is the final boss. Last we left off, it was not well rated. I feel like we rated it pretty badly. I think the
I was
consensus was
yeah,
daughter is cute, story is shit, stories characters sort of suck. And
yeah.
I fully honestly expect it to be the same. Yeah, because
Oh,
I'll say this before we end off here. I did go back and I think I read up to like chapter 70 or so. And by the time I was at chapter 70, uh I I dropped it again.
mm,
So if you're taking that as any judgment here, and I feel like I'm the more I like things more than you do, I think. I'm more willing to put up with more BS. This one just I still couldn't read it. There's something that happens around the mark basically where I was like this is really dumb. Like just really it's just sort of dumb. is not looking good. One of these days, we're gonna go and review the gamer or dice or the lone spellcaster, and we're gonna have ourselves a very fun time.
I
But that's
feel
not
like
now, not yet.
Dice had such an interesting premise, and
So
it
much
just dropped it
potential,
so crap.
so
Like,
much potential.
oh,
Lookism has a pretty good,
like, it's been a really good
good plot line, you know.
premise.
You look through it and you're like, oh, this is really cool. It's gonna address bullying and stuff. Well, if you learn martial arts, you can probably address bullying as well. And if you can heal your broken bones in a few minutes, you can also address bullying. Yeah, it just got weirder. And now it's just basically just like a power fantasy supernatural element ish. They introduce this character that like doesn't feel pain, but he feels doesn't feel pain in like every way. I don't know. There's some BS in that. Anyway, we'll see you next time for My Daughter is the Final Boss.
Wee.
Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe and do stuff. We appreciate you if you're watching still. And keep watching, please. Question mark, please. Right. Thanks. Bye.